Zenless Zone Zero never lets us catch a break, or for me at least. I am over here literally thinking about which characters I'm going to be pulling for in patch 1.1 of Zenless Zone Zero, which, as you guys know, just recently launched. Now, after seeing the 1.2 characters, I am starting to get stressed out. And let me just come out and say, when it comes to the character development and the character designs and what they do within this game, it seems like Hoyoverse will never disappoint. Now, with that out of the way, we finally got official drip marketing of the S-ranked agents, or so I think that's what they are. I mean, just look at them. They are amazing. They're also coming from the faction Sons of Calydon. Cali, you get the point. Me and pronouncing things just seems to never work out the way that I wanted to, unfortunately. Please help me. I also just wanted to state, me saying they are S ranked is basically on the sole fact that we already got two characters that are A ranked, Piper and Lucy, that are from the same faction. Phew. I'm happy that those names are easy to say because sheesh, man. The other ones, you can miss me with that. Moving along here, the first new character that will be coming to 1.2 of Zenless Zone Zero is Caesar King. I'm not gonna lie to you, Caesar King looks really scary. She looks like she belongs in those Spartan wars. I mean, you know, you get it, the sword and the shield. Just being real here, she looks as tough as damn nails. And getting back on track, we also see another character within this game carry a shield. Although Seth carries a baton and like a riot shield because he's a part of the public safety faction, or maybe the SWAT team. But for some reason, he is able to attach his baton to the shield like a Lego set with step-by-step directions to make a gladiator's broadsword. Like, for real though, I'm not even kidding. Absolutely insane ideas, by the way. Getting back on topic here, Caesar's design looks barbaric. Aside from that, the logo from Sons of Calydon, and that's what I'm going to be saying for the rest of this video, so please correct me in the comment section down below if I'm wrong. Sons of Calydon in itself looks like some type of biker gang based off the Warhog and the biker's helmet, which is kind of like really ideal logo for a motorcycle gang. Now, to compare that to the character we are currently looking at, Caesar King, she definitely fits the description, or I should probably say faction. Honestly, I really do love how in Zenless Zone Zero, the characters all have specific looks depending on what faction they are a part of. Oh man, I really am just now noticing it, but Caesar has the Warhog logo on her shield, and this is exactly what I mean by peak design by Hoyoverse. The little details absolutely matter the most, and that's definitely one of them that didn't catch my eye right away. Now, this also makes me wonder if Caesar King is the head of that faction, if she's like, you know what I mean? Kind of like Colita from the other faction. I think it was Bellabog. But yeah, you know what I mean. The main character of the faction, like the leader. So it looks like Caesar King, according to official drip marketing, is going to be a physical type defense character, which has me think that we are heading into a lot of a physical meta, maybe? I mean, we are getting physical anomaly Jane Doe coming up in 1.1, which, by the way, without getting so much into her, Jane Doe is also peak design as well. Like, her design is absolutely amazing. But as I was saying before, this is two physical type characters coming in this current patch and the next one, which is pretty interesting to think about. Now, there is actually more to think about when coming in on the next character we will be talking about, but for now, I just want to expand on the idea of a physical type team comp, which I don't really know much about physical. I honestly don't think really anybody has talked about physical being a strong team composition since we have not yet to see some strong physical type characters. But as I mentioned before, we do have Jane Doe coming out later in 1.1, which is very exciting. And I know I have some bad takes, but if you disagree with me on this one, then you are cooked. Neko Maeda is absolutely trash. Nobody can convince me otherwise. Absolutely a terrible character. Let's be real here. Come on. So going back on the topic of physical type characters, I hope that Caesar King and Jane Doe really do live up to their potential and carry physical type characters as a whole. Now, moving along to our next character who I am mostly excited for 1.2. Burnt Rice? Burn Rice? Bernice? Burn Nice? These names, man, I really just can't. It's actually bothering me that I can't pronounce any of them. Although, I really do like this one. We're gonna go with Bernice. Going into her design, she carries a tank of gasoline with two big gun-looking thingies. Ah, yes, a very descriptive way to describe it. Anyways, I am almost 99% sure this is a flamethrower, which means this agent here named Burn Nice, if you get what I did there, is quite literally a pyromaniac, which would make sense because going into what type of character Bernice Bernice is? Bernice is a fire elemented agent who follows the path of anomaly, which is pretty interesting that we are getting 2 anomaly characters in a row between Jane Doe in update 1.1 and Bernice in update 1.2. So I kind of wonder if running 2 of them together is going to be like a type of meta comp that's going to cause debuffer characters to be really strong. But at the same time, obviously mix and matching the same elements with the same type of factions will help ideally boost your team's overall skill. But I also wonder what would happen if somebody tries to make a team comp with 3 anomaly characters. Like, what if you ran Jane Doe, Grace Howard, and Bernice all in one team composition? Is this going to be like a type of Honkai Star Rail situation where we can do damage over time comps? I'm interested to see if this would work out and if this would melt the enemy very quickly, because if that's the case, I'm gonna go for 3 DOT type characters for my second team composition, so that way when I do Qingyi defense, I can melt through the enemies in no time for my second team. But these are just my thoughts. At the end of the day, I am no guru, but you know, I just think it would be kind of cool to see. Moving on to Bernice's design, she has goggles resting on the top of her head, much like Grace Howard does, or at least that's what I think they are. Again, with the biker look, she's rocking all black with a hint of red. Also, to finish, the really good design with the leather coat, which gives you a lot of biker vibes. You know, as I mentioned before, the bikers wear. She quite literally has all the drip. I actually really like her design. She looks really fire. No pun intended. I'm honestly really loving the design that Hoyo is coming up with when it comes to the Zenless Zone Zero characters. They really do match the theme of the game, and I always say this in a lot of my videos, but they really do a great job on the character design. So this is Bernice, a fire elemented anomaly character with a peak overall design. Now guys, let's talk about something real quick. Your summoning decisions may change now for 1.1 depending on who you want to build for your account for the near future on Zenless Zone Zero. Now, as we all may know, in the second half of 1.1, we are getting a brand new physical anomaly agent named Jane Doe, and during this half we do have Qingyi. The reason I mentioned this is because we just went over earlier in this video, Caesar King is a physical type defense agent. So now we got 2 physical types coming in the near future. So maybe to gain the bonus from keeping the same agent type of elements on the same team, you compare maybe Jane with Caesar King, but also this is just a hypothesis. Now with that actual physical testing, if you see what I did there, I can't claim nor deny that putting them together would be actually good, but this is one of many examples of things you gotta rethink about when thinking about new characters to summon for the future of your account and when building 2 teams for game modes like Qingyi defense. That is, of course, if you are strictly playing to be as strong as possible and collecting strong units, pull for your favorite characters, or do whatever you normally do. You know what type of players you are, and there's nothing wrong with that. I actually have the gacha curse. The gacha curse of where I want every single new character that comes out in any type of gacha game that I currently play. This is how these gacha companies get us, to be honest. They definitely got me for sure. Another thing worth mentioning is that Caesar King will be our first S-rank defense agent. Although, me personally, I do not really know much about defense characters and how good they are, considering we only have Ben, and up until now we have Caesar King, our S-ranked one, coming out, and Seth coming out at 1.2 with Jane Doe. Speaking on Jane Doe also being an anomaly type of character, we also got Bernice, who is coming out as well, who is also anomaly, as we just went over before earlier in this video, which I assume she's going to do lots of damage over time with the burn debuffer, as that is literally in her name, Bernice. However, if you do want to safely pull for good overall characters for long-term investment, I would for sure look into anomaly characters coming out. As we all know by now, it is common knowledge that anomaly characters excel at applying debuffs to enemies. I do not know about all of you guys who play gacha games, but I really do love my buffer and debuffer type of characters within these games. Sure, it is cool to have an overall overpowered DPS character like Ji Yuan or Ellen, for example, but if you want to see those characters deal more and more damage and at the same time basically future-proof your account for team building with other characters at a later date, also, I would recommend pulling for support or anomaly characters. I would recommend pulling for support or anomaly characters. Also, a lot of gacha gamers, this could not be you, by the way, this is a generalization. Typically, there is a stigma that like you should not pull for early limited banner characters when it comes to newly released games. Gacha games to be exact. If you do that, apparently the older characters will be outshined by the newly released ones. Some of you guys probably either unknowingly follow this stigma or just follow it to save up polycom for future-proof characters, or you just pull for what you want to pull for, which is also cool as well. Now, I'm gonna bring up something something in my last video that I really talked about and expanded on. Now, for those of you who did watch it, I know most of you probably didn't, because the way the YouTube algorithm works is that you click on a video based on your liking, and sometimes, you know, I get a different audience every time. Now, with that said, Qingyi, after I got her, is not a ranked ambi, and I said this a lot in my last video, which was pretty much a very big hot take. Qingyi is super fun, and she has an unlimited attack that goes on quite literally forever. I mean, just look at this. I never thought that Hoyoverse would make a character that can attack for as long as they please in a combat intuitive game like Zenless Zone Zero. I also noticed while playing Qingyi, she stuns amazingly fast, so I am 100% changing my mind. Qingyi currently is the best stun character in the game, so if you're still on the edge about pulling for her, or you're just thinking about it, I would highly recommend her. Not just if you have Zhu Yuan and you're building a NEPS team, but pull for her if you need a good stun character. She is very good for long-term investment and definitely made me look pretty dumb in my last video when my points were really not strong enough. Well, these are my thoughts about the new characters that are coming out in 1.2 and the pull investments between 1.1 and 1.2. If you guys did gain something valuable from this video, whether you disagree with me or agree with me, or maybe I helped you finally make your decision on which characters you're going to be saving up for, please hit that subscribe button down below so you can find your way back to my channel. Also, while you're down there, please comment your thoughts about Qingyi and the new upcoming characters Jane Doe, Bernice, and Caesar King, because I would love to hear your opinions. I also have an amazing community Discord with lots of members who are anime fans and gacha enthusiasts alike pinned in the comment section down below. That is all for now. See you guys in the next one. Peace.